Magician Lord is one of my absolute favorite games on the Neo Geo. It was a launch title for the multi-video system, that is to say, their arcade hardware, and it was developed by the good guys over at Alpha Denshi. I'll never forget seeing this game for the very first time. It was just a really wicked action platformer. And then afterwards, when I was in New York, in a hotel in New York, I actually got to play the AES version, and I was flabbergasted that a home console could replicate the arcade perfectly. It was amazing. The game itself is a blast to play, but takes a long time to get used to the gameplay mechanics. You really need to memorize absolutely everything about each stage if you have any hope in hell of making it out alive. This is one of those games where memorization is mandatory. And it's really interesting how history has forgotten this game. Even though back in the early 90s, it was one of those games that everyone spoke about because it was a launch title for the Neo Geo. And I think it's fair to say that it hasn't aged that gracefully. It remains fun, but it's certainly stiff and unforgiving. You play as Elta, who is on a mission to retrieve 8 mystical tomes of power. Don't worry, you don't have your standard attack at your disposal and nothing else. If you collect special orbs in the stages, you can transform into a number of powerful alter egos, including a dragon, a ninja, and more. And some of the forms downright suck, if I'm being honest, compared to the default form. However, they boost your vitality from 2 hits to 4 hits, so regardless, you want to get them, even if they do suck. The level design and enemy designs are both excellent, and when I first tell people about this game today, I say that it's something like Ghouls and Ghosts or Ghosts and Goblins. In other words, punishingly difficult, but very fun and very nice looking. Enemies are placed in the absolute worst possible locations, and there are flying dudes everywhere that just love to ruin your day with a lovely, almost unavoidable projectile attack. Again, it comes down to memorization. You need to play the levels over and over and over again in order to get anywhere in this game. The good news is that when you die, you start right back where you died, and not at the beginning of the stage, as well, that would just be brutal. However, I will say this, if you want to ease yourself into Magician Lord, this is the way to do it. Not the AES version, because the AES version is damn near impossible since it has a limited number of continues. I had a friend of mine that went through that version of the game because, well, you didn't just go and buy a bunch of different Neo Geo games, they cost over $200 back in the day, if not more. And he wanted to get his money's worth of Magician Lord. So he must have played that first stage around 10,000 times before completing the game. And well, you don't have to do that. You can ease yourself into the game and enjoy it for all its punishing glory. Needless to say, when you couple in the kick-ass soundtrack, the cheesy voice acting, and everything else this game has to offer, this is a really easy game to recommend for the Neo Geo.